can feel it down in my plums. When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in.
Welcome back to Let the Boys Watch, an
said,
entertainment
"No,
podcast
Gabriel,
brought to you
leave."
by
I
Going
said, "No."
Gray Productions. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Robbie, and on this week's episode, it was a revenge week. It wasn't like a nice little revenge. And the winner of Revenge Week was the 2004 thriller Man on Fire. Man on Fire was written by A.J. Quinnell and Brian Helgeland and directed by Tony Scott. Man on Fire stars Denzel Washington, Christopher Walken, Dakota Fanning, Radha Mitchell, Marc Anthony, Giancarlo Giannini, Mickey Rourke, and Rachel Ticotin. Alongside me is the cousin Benny. How you feeling?
I'm doing good, cuz. First, I want to say congrats on running your little 10K. I saw you on Strava. Congrats
Oh,
to you.
please. Thank you.
Second, do you think God is going to forgive us for all the things we've done?
Maybe you, not me. He's watching and he's not liking. And alongside the cuz and myself, good friend and co-host Ryan. How we feeling?
Pretty decent. How are you feeling? How's your legs?
They're back. They're back. I've been taking a couple of days off tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll get back at it.
Love it. Love it.
Thank you.
So yeah, like Robbie said, this is Let the Boys Watch. And we watch movies that one or all of us haven't seen. Typically, sometimes we deviate from that, but typically we watch a movie one of us hasn't seen, or all of us possibly. We come up with a theme and we let the voters on Instagram pick the movie that we're gonna watch. And like Robbie said, again, it was Man on Fire that won for Revenge Week. I was excited because I had never seen it, which is, I would say, a rarity since I spent most of my life doing nothing and sitting at home watching TV. But yeah, I'm excited, talk about it, what you guys thought. Before we get into all that, please follow us on your favorite podcast provider. Follow us on Instagram. It's in the show notes. Send us an email, ltbwpodcast at nope, ltbw podcast. Yeah, I had it right. It's only fucking 78 episodes, whatever. At gmail.com. It's in the show notes. Don't listen to me. And Benny, tell them where else they can get involved and follow us and, show a little love.
Well, if you don't want to look at the show notes to find the email, it's right down below on our YouTube page. So follow us on YouTube, Let the Boys Watch. A lot easier to find that way. Yeah, we would love to have you hang out here with us. We had a bunch of new subscribers, so I'd love to see that. And a bunch of new views. So please join us on YouTube, Let the Boys Watch. You can leave us a comment with what you think, what we sound like absolute idiots about, any movie recommendations you might have for us, and tell us how much you love Godzilla -1. I mean, please, that video is like hotcakes on our YouTube. Find out why. Only
Yeah.
on YouTube.
I never watched it, so I don't even know if it's any good. So we start off every week with who hasn't seen it. So I said I hadn't seen it. Did you guys both see it, or you haven't?
I have not seen it.
Oh, all right. So Robbie, being the only one that has seen it, what's your experience with this film? Like, when did you see it? Has it been a while since you've seen it? When did you see it?
I think I definitely saw when it came out. Me and a bunch of friends really did enjoy this movie. It was, I want to say always on, but it was definitely one of the movies we'd put on if we were all hanging out and get a little late night. But it's been, I want to say like 15 years since the last time I saw it. Really, it's been a long time. I haven't seen it in a bit, even though I do love Denzel. It was different. I forgot how long it was. That upset me a little bit because I'll get into it a little later, but it was a little long for my liking than I remembered. But I mean, it's got everything I want. It's got killing, it's got Denzel, it's got good child acting, great child acting, I'm sorry, and it's got revenge. And I love revenge, and I wish I can get revenge on everybody, but I can't because I'm a scaredy cat and I feel bad. So, but hey, at least I can watch it on the theater and in a movie. So it's got a fantastic Denzel performance, and I really enjoy this movie.
Benny, what about you? So you never seen it? What'd you think going in? Were you excited to watch it?
Please let me. Can I defer to you? I mean, you have. It's very rare that you haven't seen one of these movies.
All right, yeah, sure. I'll go first. Thank you. I I don't know why I never saw it, and I had always heard people say that it was really good, and damn it, I love a revenge movie. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It just escaped me. I love Denzel too, like Robbie said, and I don't know. Never saw it. Kind of forgot about it, and it would always pop up, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I should watch that." I've heard it's good. It's revenge. It's Denzel. What could be better? And just didn't. So I was pretty pumped. I mean, I would have been happy to watch The Crow or John Wick as well. Because again, I love like Robbie. I mean, if I could get revenge on all my enemies,
Please, the best.
best. But I too am a scaredy cat. So, um, watching Denzel get revenge was just as good.
Fantastic. I wanted to watch John Wick. That was like my putting that up there. I was hoping that was going to win, and for a while it was a back and forth affair. But listen, how could you be mad when you're watching a Denzel movie? I love men. I love fire. So I was like, this is probably right up my alley. Uh, I mean, no, I knew nothing about it other than if you would have asked me before we said we're doing Revenge Week, what this movie was about, I would said I have no idea. So obviously, just going in knowing that it was a revenge movie, was kind of in the mood for like something action-y. So, I think I was going to be happy with whatever won. But yeah, I was excited. I mean, it's been a while since I watched a Denzel movie, and I know Denzel is one of the finest actors we have in this country. So I was glad that it ended up winning.
Before we get into, segments and ratings and all that stuff, have you guys been seeing it's going around like crazy, the clip of him talking to Jamie Foxx saying, "I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something." I
No,
could watch that every single time. I crack up every time. I fucking love it.
no, you're gonna have to send it to me after the
All
show.
right.
I love it because it's Jamie Foxx's impression of Denzel that gets Denzel losing it. It's I think it's the same interview where they're interviewing each other.
Yeah.
Uh, when he's like, "You get your fucking hands off me," and then Denzel loses it, and I love that clip. It's like 30 seconds. It's either on TikTok or it's on these shorts. You gotta watch it because it's fucking hilarious, and Denzel loves it. And it's fantastic.
Yeah. And the best is he's talking about grabbing a tray of food. Like, you think, that's, I don't know. I'll find the clip. I'll send it to you. But either way, Denzel is a national treasure. By the way, check out our recent video on National Treasure. Fantastic film.
Nice work.
That was good, right?
Segue, nice segue.
All right. So let's get into overall impressions and plum scores. Does anyone want to start?
Please, someone jump in, please.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
go. I'll go. I'll
go
go.
ahead.
Yeah. So like I said, I saw this movie a long time ago. It was multiple rewatches for me. Back in the day, about 20 years ago. It's been a long time since I watched it, so I didn't. I know I remembered a bit. I don't remember how long it was, but let me get into what I didn't like about it, and that's the pacing of the movie. The first hour and a half was a little bit too much. I understand what they were trying to set up right there. You got Denzel as I guess an army dude, CIA guy who's been through a lot, kind of down on his luck, alcoholic, doesn't care anymore, kind of really doesn't care about living or dying. And he's introduced with this opportunity, right? He meets Lupita, who was, Dakota Fanning's character, and oh, he's back, he's got that lust for life again. And then all of a sudden, a little kidnapping happens, and then he goes and he becomes an absolute lunatic. But I feel like it didn't need to be 2.5 hours. It was a very long movie, but let me tell you something right now. The last hour of this movie is absolutely fucking fantastic. It's jam-packed. It's got violence. It's got some of the best revenge I've ever seen in my life. It's got all-time Denzel performance. Definitely in my Mount Rushmore of Denzel performances, of my favorite Denzel performances. This, Training Day, Glory, top three. Forget about it. I love Denzel in this movie. He's just playing Denzel, but amping it up. And there's nothing better than that. I remember super duper surprised with Mark Anthony's performance. I thought Mark Anthony was really great in this movie. Very good for somebody who I don't think is a big actor. You know, obviously more on the singing side. Um, Christopher Walken is just Christopher Walken. I mean, you can't get any better than him. Um, but Dakota Fanning was out of this world. The best child performance, acting performance that I've seen on film, I think, ever. But yeah, the things I didn't like were the too many jump cuts with the editing. It really kind of annoyed me. I hated that. I absolutely hated that watching this. Um, but again, it's just for me the direction I didn't enjoy. I didn't enjoy Tony Scott's directing in this movie. Um, Dialogue is a dialogue, whatever. The action was fantastic. It was great. Like I said, the last hour of this movie was on par with some of the best hours I've ever watched on film. So I was in between 7.5 to 8.5 range. The direction really killed me. I thought it was too long for my liking, but I mean, the last hour made up for it for me. So I'll go 8.1 for this movie. I thought it was great. Denzel was phenomenal. There was great performances in this movie. So yeah, the last hour again on the rewatch 15 years later saved this movie for me, or I would have been out on it.
Yeah,
Right.
agree with everything you're saying. Like the action is fantastic. A lot of the acting is amazing. Dakota Fanning, incredible. I think you're right. You might be the best child acting I've seen in a long time, or just generally. But the length of the film is a little much. I totally agree. Like the first, this whole first setup, where all right, we get it. He's not in a great place. He's a drunk, whatever. And then the whole thing with, and I loved seeing it. I loved him softening and Dakota Fanning just constantly just breaking through that wall, that exterior of his, and him becoming, just totally in love with this little girl was way too long. It could have, I feel like it could have been accomplished much quicker. I do get it and I liked it, but I could have done without it, if that makes sense. And then yeah, the last hour is just, I mean, what like there's no gray area here, which is also kind of awesome. A lot of times I feel like lately there's a lot of like, well, like just as a quick example, like the Joker or something in Dark Knight, like yeah, he's evil and he's a piece of shit and this and that and he's killing people, whatever. But like maybe there's like little kernels of truth or like not goodness, but there's a little bit of gray there. These are all fucking child traffickers, kidnappers, pieces of shit, and you're just like, yes, Denzel, fuck these people up, get them, stick explosives up their assholes. I love it. So that also, really saved this film for me. And the some of the editing, and I was like reading up on it, like I guess they were trying to go with like that was um I'm trying to think of the word I want to use, but like trying to show like his mental state and like that it was fractured and whatever, blah blah blah. I fucking hated it. I hated all those jump edits, those quick cuts, the flashing, then there was like parts where it was like I don't know what they call it in film. We need like a film expert to tell us on this, but like when they have like the silhouette of Denzel in front of like the next scene or something like that. Like it's just like, what is this? Terrible. Um, but saying all that, I did really enjoy it. I'm pretty much in that range as well. I'm gonna go 7.6. Um, the direction was sometimes hard to watch, but the acting and some of the action scenes and everything really, saved it for me. So I really enjoyed it, but couple things really pissed me off.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys summed up pretty much everything that I felt about this movie. So I'm not gonna, try to like keep beating those points, but to the point of all the jump cuts and stuff, it just felt so 2000
Right.
to me that I
Yeah.
was just like,
It was of the time.
yeah, I'm like, damn, if this movie was like made 10 years earlier or 10 years later, this specific jump cutting and like wouldn't have been in it, and the movie would have been so much better because of it. That being said, I do think Tony Scott did a good job directing. Like the actual stuff that wasn't jump cuts was very good. It made me kind of interested to see some of his other stuff. I haven't seen Enemy of the State. I haven't seen some of his other movies. So, I am interested. I'm also interested in seeing more Denzel movies. I think I've only seen like parts of Denzel movies, like parts of John Q, parts of well, I've seen all of Training Day, but I
Okay.
want to I want to
Gonna
get
say.
more, yeah, I want to get more Denzel in my life after this. Because he was just fantastic. I love one of the things I also loved was, I'm a 4K whore, and I want like every movie that we watch, I'm like, no, I'm gonna rent it just because the rental only has 4K and that's what I want to watch. But I realized in this movie, I love movies that are shot actually on film because I don't, there was just something about the way this movie looked. And I don't know, again, if this is something that it was done in post that I don't know. I think it was shot on like 35 millimeter or something like that, but it just looked amazing. Like it just felt like a movie. It felt really good. And sometimes the 4K is a little too much on some things. Like it's almost too realistic and too in your face. And I don't know, there was just something that stuck out to me. I don't think it really affected how I viewed the movie at all. It was just something that I noticed and I had like a really like a real reaction to. But yeah, I'm with you guys as far as the score goes. I'm gonna go 8.3 on it. I really did enjoy it. There was a point in I was so invested in Peta and John's relationship that I was like, oh shit, we still have to get to the revenge. Like I was like enjoying just enjoying that relationship and like just it becoming a movie about her becoming an Olympic swimmer. Like that would have been cool with it just because they had such great chemistry, the two of them, where I didn't want to lose that relationship. I was just, really enjoying it. And, when she quote unquote dies, I was like, I really hope that's not it because I want to see at least um one more interaction between the two of them. And thankfully we get that towards the end. But yeah, I'm gonna go 8.3. I thought it was really good. I think that if those jump cuts weren't there, it would have been a little bit higher. But I also think the direction and the way the movie looked and how it was shot on location and just how alive everything felt and how real everything felt, it probably canceled that out for me. So 8.3, really good movie. Was it long? Yeah. Was I okay with it? Probably. I mean, it might hinder me from like going to it and watching over and over again, but I'm not going to nitpick too much on the length this one because there was really never a point where I was like, wow, is this thing ever going to end? I think it was could have been shorter, yeah, but it didn't really kill it for me.
Okay. No, good scores. Um, did quick question because this doesn't really fit in anywhere else. Did anyone else? I know Robbie, you've seen it before, but maybe more so Benny. Did you get a little choked up when Peter at the end when Peter ran towards Denzel? Because I did.
Of course, yeah, definitely hit you in the feel spot.
Gotcha.
um, yeah, I don't know what it is about. I mean, I guess just because Dakota Fanning is so good and Denzel is so good. Like, I don't know. It was just such perfect chemistry. I feel like between the two of them.
Yeah. And I think we were saying like it might have been nice to cut down on some of that relationship building, but you know, I liked it too at the same time, and it definitely made me feel more at the end. Um, it just the length was a little much. That's all. Could have maybe they just skipped the revenge and it's just a movie about her becoming a swimmer. It's like Finding Forrester with Denzel instead of
Yeah.
Sean Connery. Love
He split it into two movies. Ready? Man on Water, and it ends after the race, and then Man on Fire is a revenge movie that's after that.
I love it.
Love it.
Fantastic. What's the name of the podcast? Watch
What
what
happens
happens
next?
next. Love it. Um, all right. Do you guys want to do scenes or characters first?
Let's do
Oh,
scenes.
Let's do let's do least favorite first. And does anyone want to go first?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
Um, my least favorite scene, I'll go with the kidnapping of PETA, just because that's where I felt like a lot of that 2000 stuff, like the slow motion, the jump cuts, all that kind of stuff, like really that was the only part where I really felt like it hurt the movie because I feel like all the other action in the movie was so good and there wasn't a lot of that stuff or not as much. I just feel like they overdid it and it was the crux of the whole entire movie. That was the only time I was like, damn, I kind of wish that, like I said, we got this movie earlier or later and it wasn't so of the time. It just felt very 2000 for me.
Yeah. I don't know what it's called, but there's that like blur transition that was so 2000s or cut or whatever, but it's basically like you barely notice it, but it's like it's like when the camera shifts to another viewpoint, it's like and
Yeah, yeah, I
like
know what
that
you're
it's
talking
like
about.
yeah, this. And
Yeah,
like in that scene, it was like Peter, Denzel, the guys, Peter, and like back and forth. And it was just like
yeah,
too much. Like, all right,
yeah.
I get it's a chaotic scene, but it was too much.
And it's not like too like, oh, there was no budget, so they were kind of hiding it. Like, no, I mean everything else was like pretty epic, like the way they shot it. I mean, they blew up a whole entire building. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think one gun shootout scene wasn't gonna like break the budget or anything like that. So just a stylistic choice at the time, and it just was like, yeah, that kind of stinks.
Yeah. I love when they do, like, not this movie, but movies or shows do those things to hide lack
The
of
budget,
budget.
yeah,
My favorite. History Channel's notorious for that shit.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, Robbie, would you like to go next?
Yeah, you can give me the ending of the movie. I didn't enjoy, like, I didn't need to know John Creasy's born date and his death date. So I remember how stupid it was, and I was like, "What?" I'm like, "What
part
are
of
we
me,
doing this?"
part of me was like, was this a true story? Like, why are they showing it?
Right?
Yeah, it was like, "What?" I'm like, "What are we doing here?" I mean, there goes the sequel, I guess. Um, But yeah, even back then I hated. I mean, like 10 minutes before that, I mean, forget about it, the emotions, the waterworks. But I mean, come on. And then we got the other guy like died same day. What is this, John Adams and fucking Thomas Jefferson? What, are they dying the same day? Come on, enough. Two rivals dying on the same day. So yeah, that was stupid. Like he just got shot in the head, the voice, and he was like December, whatever. I'm like, this is dumb. Tony, come on. So that annoyed me. It brought back memories of me hating the ending. So thank you, Tony.
Yeah. Two strong choices. Did you guys, I don't know if you read up anything or looked up anything on this before the show, but there's an alternate ending when he uses the same suppository explosive. That's awesome.
Yeah, I heard
You
that.
can actually see it. I think it's on YouTube.
I saw it on YouTube. Who
Oh,
does he
nice.
use it on? Himself?
Yeah, himself and gets the voice, like gets the bad guys.
Oh, okay. All right.
Whatever. Um,
That's my
those,
least favorite scene.
yeah, least favorite scene. Something getting stuck up on Denzel's butt. Um, Honestly, those are both the scenes I had in my head for least favorite. Because I total agree with both of you. Like the scene with the kidnapping was a little tough to watch, and yeah, that ending was ridiculous.
Here lies
Um,
John.
yeah, great, thanks. Like it's like those movies where they're like, John goes on to an Ivy League college and is now a engineer. It's like not dead. I think on the spot, I think I'm gonna go with when you find out that Mark Anthony, which his name in this was
Sam.
Samuel Ramos, Sam, was the one who gave up his own daughter. Because what a piece of fucking shit. Like, I don't care if they told you she was going to be eating cotton candy, riding unicorns. You don't give your fucking daughter to kidnappers, you fuck cunt.
Yeah,
Uh,
trauma for days.
yeah. And I knew, I said to myself, I don't think I said it out loud. I should have. I should say things out loud more often when I predict things. But as soon as they mentioned that he was like having issues with his business, I was like, oh, this motherfucker's gonna do something for money. And of course, has his daughter kidnapped. What a fucking little
Scummer.
bitch.
Yeah.
I'll go with that just because it was it made me so angry. But then immediately made me so happy because we'll get to it, I'm sure.
Well, I can't hate on him because he had a fantastic golf simulator in his living room.
He
So
did. That's
I was
true.
I was like, holy crap. I was like, they had those back in the day. And
Yeah.
it was only like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was just N64 graphics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ball wasn't going anywhere.
It was one of those where it's like the ball hits the screen and then like 5 seconds later it goes,
Yeah.
Everything is right down the middle.
yeah. And also in that scene, I knew something was up when she was like, because he normally seemed like a type of father that would be like, why don't you want to do piano? Like, I thought you liked it. Let's talk it out, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, nah, you're going to piano. I was like, something's weird with this. What's
Yeah.
going on here? Scumbag. Um, are there any Ani mentions for least favorite scene?
I think I have one.
I I was gonna say like every jump cut and maybe every time Christopher Walken was sucking on his fingers.
Yeah. That was a little hard to watch.
Yeah, like we get it. The food's tender down there. We understand. Take it easy.
Yeah, we got it. I like that one scene with him when he's like, just the girl walks by and he's just like, Buenos dias.
And she doesn't respond. He's just like, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Um, good choices. All right, let's do. I'm sure there's going to be a number of favorite scenes as well as a number of Ani mentions. So let's do favorite scenes. Um, oh, it's me,
Yeah.
right? I went last. Okay. Um, wow, this is a lot of pressure. Um, I I mean, Benny used it for our little advertisement. That scene is fantastic. I gotta pick it. There's a number of other ones. I'll see what you guys pick that I'll save for Ani mentions. But when he has that guy zip tied to the hood of the car and is just like doing the watch with you got explaining everything that's happening. Amazing. What a fantastic like revenge scene. And I love a good complicated uh torture-esque of revenge scene. Just mwah. When Walken said this was his masterpiece, he wasn't fucking lying. This was amazing. And then and
Yeah.
like the whole time you kind of think like he's bluffing. He didn't, because think about it. This man, Denzel Washington, the actor, of course, not really him, stuck something up this guy's ass. That's not a fun time, I'm sure. It's probably hot down there, pretty sweaty.
Oh, he saw his
Not great.
back hair.
Yeah, all the back
Just
hair.
imagine his ass hair.
Oh my goodness. Whew. But anyway, fantastic. Just loved every second of it.
Yeah, and he delivers a fantastic line. I wish you had more
Yeah.
time.
And
then he
just
walks
walks
away.
away
I
like a
love it.
boss.
Oh,
Love it.
Also,
that's
cutting,
Denzel.
yeah, cutting it very close.
Yeah.
Yeah, super close. Uh, I could do sentimental picks, but I'm not because this is a revenge movie, and I'm gonna go with my second favorite scene. As Ryan took my first favorite scene, but that was obviously, I knew that was gonna happen. I felt like because it's a great scene. I'll go with the finger torture scene. Loved it, absolutely love it. I love when he puts he cauterizes with
Mhm.
the old school lighter, which they should bring back in the cars, even though people want to smoke a butt in a car. What's better than that?
I would pick up smoking again if they put that lighter in the car.
Exactly. It's so easy. If you're in a car like with the light, you like this, your head's down, all of a sudden you look up and there's traffic and it's in your face. But yeah, I mean, again, just Denzel not caring. Denzel really just not giving a shit, just being a badass in this scene. I love it. Just interrogating him, gives him one last cigarette, shoots him in the head, and then rolls him down the hill. Party's over. Have a nice little trip. Um, it was just great, you know. Just shows it also, uncovers some corruption with the police force down there, and just kind of bit by bit, he's putting the pieces of the puzzle together and getting his revenge. So another fantastic torture scene. I love it. I love Denzel on it. I love that he cuts this guy's fingers off. I love that he uses again, like I said, the car cigarette lighter to cauterize the wounds, and then it's he interrupts the soccer game with a car falling 50 feet and blowing up. It's Denzel. Who better?
Nobody better. I'm gonna go with the let's just keep it going with the revenge, and it's the nightclub scene. I mean, just do-rag Denzel. I love it. Just who would have noticed him? Not me. I would have been like, who's that cool guy? No, I just love, again, I mean, all the interrogations that he did, and just how much when the guy's like, it's like, man, I'm from the US too. He's like, oh, where are you from? New Jersey. I'm from New Jersey too.
Jersey
Just
boy.
like how sadistic he is in like getting the information, and then when he leaves with the other girl and the reporter shows up, then he just pops out from behind the car. It just, I don't know. It was just all the revenge scenes for me were just like some of the most creative revenge and just badass, and just how calm he is the whole entire time just pays it off. And he could have been the angry, I mean, he was angry, but like the loud and obnoxious and screaming at everybody. But no, he's just so cool, calm, cool, and collected while he's getting his revenge and finding out exactly what he needs to find out. And I loved all of it.
Yeah, fantastic.
I mean the bandana. I mean the bandana really
This
just
will
so
hide
it,
me.
it annoyed me. It annoyed me so bad. I don't know why. I was like, this is a terrible outfit choice.
Can I just ask you guys, like, does it take you out of the film at all when, so this is a great example. He like thinks he's gonna blend in this nightclub full of 20 somethings as an old man because he puts a bandana on. But just generally, this guy is a huge, like he's a pretty big dude. He's an American, he's black, he's up to something. He's not like being casual, and like nobody notices. Like he just is like invisible in a crowd. Like
And
Got a
it,
12
that,
gauge.
yeah, he's pumping off
yeah,
shotties.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a rocket launcher and like nobody notices. I just I've always find that with these type of movies where I'm just like, nobody noticed this dude. Like, come on. But you can't think that way. It
It
takes
was
you
the
out.
bandana.
The
Yeah.
bed, yeah.
They didn't know who he was.
Yeah. It's like
He looked
the
like he
invisible
looked,
cloak. No one could see
Yeah.
he looked like Dion in his prime.
Yeah, maybe the deal was on vacation. Season was over.
him. All right, Ani Benches. What you guys
I should have
got?
wore a fucking bandana on my head. I should
I
have.
thought about it. Damn
I didn't even think about it until now. Damn it. Next time. Man on Fire 2.
it. Yeah.
Oh, I had a good Ani mensch and now I lost it. Someone take it.
I'll-
I'm go ahead, Ron.
yeah, quick. I'll just go with the swimming scene, the race. I loved it. I mean, that
Fantastic.
besides the fingers being cut off, hands being blown off by shotguns, people dropping dead, somebody with a stick of dynamite up his asshole. I mean, the story between Creasy and Lupita was top notch. I mean, I think Benny said the chemistry was A plus. And that swimming scene was awesome because you saw some vulnerability in Denzel's character and how much Lupita really loved Creasy, and it's a great scene. Shout out to Denzel. I mean, a phenomenal killer and a fantastic swim coach. I mean, dual threat, as they say.
Yeah.
So
I also somewhat connected to that. I loved when they were practicing at the house and all the staff were just like, yeah, let's go, like cheering her on. I loved it. Like you could tell they all loved her because she was lovable.
Yeah, she was very sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, I remember what my Ani Mensch was. So my Ani Mensch was the scene with the RPG when he actually does shoot it. Because when he's buying all the equipment, I'm like, they're showing all these things for a reason. I'm like, how the hell is he going to use the grenades? How is he going to use an RPG? Like, come on, it's so stupid. And then he just shows up in that old couple's house and just launches an RPG at the car to create a distraction. Just fantastic work. I thought that was great.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that was a good scene.
Um, I love this scene. I mean, I loved a lot of scenes, but kind of tailing from my least favorite, I loved getting his revenge on Mark Anthony with the bullet. I mean, that was a little cheesy, but like I still liked it. Um, but the fact that, he got his after finding out that he was an absolute POS, fantastic.
Yeah.
I also liked, I don't know what scene it was specifically, but when Denzel and Dakota Fanning are talking, I don't know where they're talking at the table, and she's like, "Well, you're smiling." He's like, "I'm not smiling."
Yeah,
And they
yeah,
just had that nice little cool moment, which I enjoy, where like she finally kind of like broke him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or when she
That's
gave him
smart.
the necklace.
Yeah,
Amazing.
please. I mean, the end, please, the end. What? Who
Oh,
would have
the
thought
end.
after I watched somebody, get a C4 up their asshole, then I'm going to be tearing up at the end of that movie.
Amazing. Yeah, that was good. I mean that deserves an Ani Mensch too. Just that whole scene. Um, she running towards him and all that stuff. If they
Oh, I have
just
one.
didn't have the last like 30 seconds.
No, that was gonna be my favorite scene, finding out when John Creasy was born and then found out when he was dead. Loved it. Thank God. I can go to sleep a happy man now.
Yes. Um, uh, any other Ani Mensches? I'm sure there's more, probably.
I mean,
No, I mean,
I'll throw a little love
Yeah,
Christopher Walken's way.
that's why. Yeah,
And just anytime he pops up, he's fascinating to me because he's a good actor, but he's also just Christopher Walken and everything.
yeah.
And I like it's funny to me that those guys that like, yeah, he's a good actor, but like there's no real depth in anything that he's playing. And like he's got a weird cadence of the way he speaks. So like he's not like a traditional actor, but it's just fascinating to me. But I guess he's just got that charisma that you're just like, all right, yeah, I like this guy. So I don't care. I'm just here just to get a couple of Christopher Walken scenes out of this.
Yeah, I was like, am I watching Christopher Walken in Wedding Crashes? Am I watching Christopher Walken in Severance? Like, which Christopher? It's like all intertwined. Like, whereas like a De Niro, Pacino, DiCaprio can just get lost in a character, whereas Christopher Walken is just, this watch was like your father's ass.
he's an
So,
artist and he's painting his masterpiece. That was a good scene too.
but it was good.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, I'm sure there's other things, but uh, should we move on?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Um, characters. Um, let's do favorite first. We'll switch it up. Does anyone want to start?
Who wants to go first?
All right, I'll take him. Denzel.
Take them.
I mean,
Yeah,
why not? I mean,
number one.
number one. I mean, it's one A, one B. It's Denzel. Um, just top of the pops. I mean, carried this movie. Uh, he's a menace. He's a teddy bear. He's everything rolled into one. Again, do love a nice redemption arc. There was a redemption arc in his story, right? A guy, like I said in the beginning, down on his luck, basically got lucky. Was about to kill himself, and the gun discharge or whatnot, and whatever it is, and he was, got a second lease on life, and I just love everything about him. I mean, his mannerisms in this movie, his anger in this movie, the love he has for Lupita in this movie. It's just a top-notch performance. Like, I don't know what it is about Denzel too. I feel like Denzel is Denzel in every single movie, but amps it up a notch here and there. But I don't know, he's just so good at playing a menacing kind of scary-ish, dickish guy, and he's not like that. He doesn't come off like that in real life, and I love it. He makes the tough guy believable, and I think that takes a real skill in movies and acting because sometimes you see these guys and you're like, this guy's not really believable as this kind of tough guy. So I don't know. I just everything about Denzel, you kind of hate him in the beginning because he's a dick, and then you understand like the complexity of his character. And then at the end of the movie again, you just can crying because he's down in the backseat of a car. I mean, he's a wide range of emotions throughout this entire movie. So you got to give it to Denzel. It's Denzel,
Denzel.
DW as I call him.
Do you want to take the number two spot, Ryan?
I mean, if you're gonna let me, I will.
Go ahead. Why not?
It's got to be Marc Anthony. No, I'm just obviously it's got to be the kid, Dakota Fanning as Lupita. Just a fantastic performance. You love this kid, and I mean, it's the two main characters of the movie. And she just, we all know Robbie's, but also ours hatred for bad child acting. This wasn't just good child acting. This was just good acting. This was a
The
fantastic performance by her. Um, Loved it. Hated seeing her get kidnapped. I loved that she was still alive, but I think it probably would have made more sense if she wasn't for the plot, sort of. I don't know. I could argue either way. But I was happy to get that last scene with him and her. Could give a fuck less about her meeting back with her mom. But to see Denzel and her, have that embrace and, he's just like, get out of here, kid, loved it. So good on her. Definitely, I think of all the movies we've watched so far, best child performance for sure.
Yeah, I mean, after that, it's kind of a really sharp drop off because nobody's really in the movie long enough for you to care about them. But Robbie mentioned it earlier, so I'll just grab it. It's Marc Anthony, just out of pure shock that he wasn't terrible in this movie. I don't know if he's done much acting before or since, but I mean, I'm looking right now. It doesn't look like it. I mean, IMDb just has a bunch of his music videos. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, shout out. I mean, that's a pretty fantastic job. I mean, I'm sure, hey, you could do a bunch of retakes if you want, but still, they got a good performance out of him, even though he's a sniveling piece of shit, and I hate his guts at the end of the movie. But that's what it's about. That's what it's about. You gotta make you feel something, and he did a good job with that. So, just because he's there and there's not much else as far as like definite favorites, I'll go with Marc Anthony.
What do you think his worst thing that he did was set up his daughter for being kidnapped or marrying J-Lo?
I'm gonna go with naming the dog after himself.
That is
That's
really
yeah,
bad. That is really bad.
that's a true narcissist.
Oh,
But if I had to pick between the two, it was definitely J-Lo.
Yeah, me too, without a doubt.
he was in Hackers,
I
Man
don't
on
even know what that is.
Fire. That's about it, I guess.
I feel like he warranted himself a couple more jobs with this performance.
Yeah, got a couple.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's surprisingly very, very good. I enjoyed his performance.
Honey Mentions, like you said, Benny, is kind of a sharp drop off, but I think there's a few characters to pick at.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I gave a shout out in the scenes, but come on, Christopher Walken. Again, like I said, I don't know what it is, but there's something with him, and when he's on the screen, I'm happy. When you hear, your family.
Nice. When in Mexico City, a family. Oh, I'll go with uh is it Mariana Garcia Guerrero, Rachel Ticotin? The reporter slash whatever her name is. I thought she was good in this movie. She was very good helping John out. I mean, even having to have sex with that disgusting bastard that she was with. Um, little pay for play, but she was very good in this movie. I enjoyed her character as a similar little bit part, because you kind of feel like Denzel and Lupita and Dakota Fanning kind of took up the entire screen time. So she was good in her little role. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, same. I also did. Yeah, he probably was doing a little pay for play action. But I did like that character as
No, he
well.
was good.
Yeah.
Anytime somebody comes in and smoking cigarettes in a hospital, one
Oh,
of the best.
I love how he just like goes like this to get it out of their face. He did it
This
like two
guy's
or three
on a
times.
yeah, he's like on a ventilator, barely able to breathe. He's got bullet holes everywhere, and he's coming in there puffing cigs.
Ripping cigs. Whatever. Um, any other honorary mentions for favorite? All right. Let's move on. Benny, what do you got? Least favorite character.
Yeah, I mean, this is as big of a slam dunk as Bob Newhart in Elf for me, and that
Rest in peace.
is Mickey Rourke as Jordan Kalfas. I don't know what it is about Mickey Rourke's face. I just want to deliver one of these right into his suckle. And on top of that, he was just the ultimate sleazebag lawyer in this. So I mean, job well done on that. But I don't know, man. I see Mickey Rourke and I just want to turn off my TV. So give me Mickey Rourke as Jordan Kalfas.
Fantastic in The Wrestler, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was good in a couple things, but I know what you're saying. He sucked in this movie for sure. Um, is it my turn? Yes.
Yeah. You took
Yeah.
Dakota.
Uh, I'll go. I don't disagree with your pick of Mark Anthony, but I also hated his guts for what he did. So I'm just gonna pick Mark Anthony as Sam. And you reminded me, I was gonna pick someone else. I'm not gonna say because Robbie may pick them. But the fact that he named the dog after himself pushed him over the top. What a piece of crap. That's the worst thing I've ever heard. Worse than the kidnapping. Worse than J-Lo. That's the worst.
I was gonna pick Mark Anthony as well. Not because he was a bad actor, but obviously, like you said, because his character stunk. So I'll go with hopefully it's Jesus Ochoa Victor Fuentes. Um, yeah, I mean, just because he's slimeball. Uh, yeah, I just hate corrupt people. They're really the worst, and then they have you know, no backbone or nothing. They make the world go around. I feel like everybody's corrupt nowadays. But yeah, I mean, just preying on young kids for some ransom money is ridiculous. And like even like there at like the house and like trying to help out, knowing like what you're doing behind the scenes. Like how much of a scumbag are you? Like you have a conscience. You're a piece of shit. So yeah. Uh, I'll go Victor Fuentes because he sucked. But he got a little nice little revenge at the end. So hey, shout out to us. Like they say, like the kids say, night night, keep your butthole tight. So good night, Victor.
Any mentions?
I don't know. I mean, other than them just being, oh, you know what? I kind of want to, I don't know where she fits in, whether she was my favorite, one of my favorites, or one of my least, but Radha Mitchell
Yeah, the mom.
as the mom, like in some parts she was good, in other parts, like her American accent was so bad that I was just like, ugh, like things were falling flat for me. But I don't know. I didn't hate her. Like I said, I kept going back and forth whether I liked her in this role or I didn't. So I just want to throw her out there as kind of a in between.
I think I'll skew to liking her because of when they find out that the drop went bad and she just fucking loses it on all the idiot cops
She
there. It's like, get the
smacks
fuck out
everybody.
of my house. She's hitting them in the heads.
Yeah, I do like that. I think when she was smacking the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, that was good. Um, I also like, you know what? Just bringing her up, and this doesn't really fit in anywhere. I know he got shot, but like they didn't say anything to him like, way to protect our daughter.
Yeah.
Like we hired you to protect so Mark Anthony knew, so I mean he could have acted like that, but like even the mom, like nobody said anything like, oh, you didn't see this coming or something. Like they just were like, yeah, cool, whatever, go in her room, look at her diary, like that's whatever, do whatever you want.
Oh, I didn't expect to see you in my daughter's room reading her diary. That's not
Yeah,
weird.
it's not weird. Yeah, some guy that we just hired like a month ago.
I think there was some deleted scenes where they actually, I don't know if they showed the sex scene, but
Yeah,
they kind of I don't even know what the word I'm trying to interluded. Is that even the right word I'm trying to do here? But anyway, it was kind of surmised between John and Radha that they were smashing and dashing.
Definitely got that vibe.
did they, do you know, was the smash and dash before you find out about Mark Anthony, or was it after that?
I think it was before, but don't quote me on that.
Wowza.
Don't quote the diddler on that, as they call me.
Oh man. Um, any other Ani mentions? All right. Let's move on. We
Least
do it
favorite
every
character?
what?
So least favorite? Yeah,
Yeah.
Sam the dog.
Yeah, fuck him.
Just being an asshole out on his leash, just trying to fight everybody. Just Denzel, put him on a leash. Leash
Sure.
your pets and spay neuter them. Rest in peace, Bob Barker.
The best. Um, but yeah, we do it with every film, whether it deserves it or not. But how can we make this film better? Sometimes we don't have an answer, but I think we could do a few things with this one. So does anyone want to start?
Yeah, I mean, less 2000 for me.
Yeah.
Usually our complaints are about how long the movie is, and like I said, I really don't have an issue with that with this one, but it just felt very of the time, and it stinks, right? Because there's some movies where like, oh, that's of the time and it's kind of cool, but man, just early 2000s is just so cringy with a lot of different things,
Yeah, what
and
is
it
that about?
and this is kind of one of them. I maybe will look back on it in 40 years and be like, okay, it's kind of cool, but it just felt so 2000 to me that it just bothered me.
I think I don't know if this is accurate or not, but I think it was because like there started to be some technology like computer editing and stuff like that. Whereas
Probably.
back, for however many years it was manual, like cutting and taping things together and whatever. So they were like, yo, check this out. We could do this blur cut. Sick. Put it in 40 times.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like, maybe the viewers don't understand Denzel's mental state by him trying to actually kill himself in one
Yeah.
scene. Let's have a couple of jump cuts to make it really, hone in on his mental state.
Yeah. Let's have him looking longingly out the window, but then we'll put that over a landscape scene
Yeah.
of a mountain. Okay. Um, Robbie, what do you got?
Yeah, more jump cuts. Maybe half
More.
an hour longer.
Yeah.
No, again, like I said at the beginning, the jump cuts kind of took me out of a couple scenes. I think they were unnecessary, but like Benny said, it was very 2000 and late. So yeah, just a sign of the times, I guess. Um, yeah, like Benny said, a couple years, into the future or into the past, we wouldn't have saw that, I don't believe. But yeah, that's the only thing. Again, time. I think 2 hours would have been really good for me. But I mean, I'm not going to complain that much. I complain more along the lines of the jump cuts and like that type of direction. So that's it.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I agree with you guys. But I'll give maybe a story change, and that would be not allowing Mark Anthony to kill Mickey Rourke, but letting Denzel do it so we could see the creativity with that piece of crap. I feel like we were robbed of a death. Like, yeah, it was great that he got his head chopped off with a sword. Fantastic. But we didn't get to see it, and it was done by another idiot who let his own daughter get kidnapped. So let Denzel, maybe he could have shoved that sword up his butt. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm in for it.
Yeah. Um, but there is another way that we can make this film better, and that's by doing what we do every week with every film for unknown reasons or reasons unknown, like from parts unknown. Um, and that's casting Matt Damon, working overtime, a part that exists, one that we make up, whatever. Um, why do we do it? No one knows. Does anyone
So we're
want to
too
start?
afraid to go back.
Yeah, we can't stop.
Um, I mean, this is an obvious choice, but I'm going to take it anyway. Give me Matt Damon as the bird, and he could speak, and he's on Denzel's shoulder the whole time, and
I
he's
love
talking
it.
in a Boston accent. So every time he's, he's torturing someone, Matt Damon is chiming in on the shoulder and like repeating or kind of, being like the devil on his shoulder. So Matt Damon as the bird. I mean, I'm sorry to take it from both of you guys, but I just got to do it.
That's what I had. That's what I had.
Such a good choice. Oh my God. It's like if Jafar's bird from Aladdin,
Yeah.
instead of Gilbert Gottfried, it was Matt Damon. I love it. Wow. Uh, um, give me, give me, uh, an old, grizzled Matt Damon, maybe a little fatter, more corrupt, although he was very corrupt in,
Parted.
Departed. But give me an older, fatter, hairier, grosser Matt Damon as the one of the corrupt cops, maybe the main corrupt cop that gets on the hood. Because I mean, what there's not much more I want to see than a half-naked Matt Damon strapped to a car hood.
Hmm.
I mean, that would make this, like Robbie says, it'd be a 43 out of 10.
Good choice.
Thank you.
Please. Shredded Matt Damon on top of the car. Forget about it.
I
Like that
mean,
White Snake video. Like the White Snake video. Uh, give me a young, lean, mean, fresh out of Harvard Law School. Give me Matt Damon as Mark Anthony's lawyer. Get Mickey Rourke out of town. Send him somewhere. Maybe send him to Cancun, Mexico, or somewhere, or maybe even Tijuana for a little donkey show. Get him off my screen. I don't care for him. Give me a Matt Damon. I mean, forget about it. Sleazeball looking like $1 million, like he looked in Talented Mr. Ripley. I mean, fantastic blonde locks, six pack, smart, corrupt, just a dick. Nobody plays. Well, maybe somebody plays better, but give me a nice little smart aleck, piece of shit, undercover dick, Matt Damon as the lawyer. I think he would have been fantastic in this movie. A little bit part for him, maybe even get a nice little supporting actor nod, because I think he would be able to nail it. So yeah, I had nothing funny. I just didn't really enjoy Mickey Rourke as the lawyer. I think Matt Damon would have put it to perfection. And forget about it. But I do think Denzel going around with the parrot as Matt Damon would have been a fucking 45,000 out of 10. That would have been a fantastic movie choice. I would have, I mean, I would have saw that again and again.
Over and over. I feel like Matt Damon as the lawyer in Mexico, big time loafers, no socks.
1,000%.
Big.
1,000%.
Yeah,
That's the move.
one button, and it's by the belly button on his
Oh,
dress
yeah.
shirt.
Shirt
That's,
just wide open.
that's it.
Yeah. Light blazer, maybe a hat, just All the things that I wish I could wear, but I never could.
Yeah. Maybe one of them long, like handmade cigarettes,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Like a cigarette holder, maybe.
Oh, forget about it.
All right. Is there anything else that we need to say about Man on Fire?
Yeah, what took it down a full point for me was the fact that Denzel Washington literally said revenge is a dish best served cold in this movie. Like, why? Did
Yeah.
you need to have that in there?
Little lame.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so stupid. We get it. We understand.
Because he said it, it wasn't as stupid, but
Yeah.
it was still stupid.
But still, I was like, why did you need to? It warmed up the dish of revenge just a little bit for me. It was too warm.
They should have like really changed up and be like, revenge is a dish best served piping hot. Up an ass.
Yeah, like a fresh cup of coffee.
Revenge is a dish best served with a side of rice and beans.
Ugh.
Shout out Mexico.
Love rice and beans.
Who doesn't?
I had rice and beans tonight for dinner. It's delicious.
I'm jealous.
I just had beans with kale.
Nice.
Stupid. Wish there was rice in there. Chicken cutlet stuff.
Shout out.
The best. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Denzel. He does. I think Benny mentioned it. He plays the calculating, evil but good that you like, just quiet but not angry person so well. Like, I mean, Training Day he goes off the handle, but like, what's the one where he's the kingpin? American Gangster. It's like kind of same character. Equalizer's good if you like Denzel and Revenge. Just love that
Denzel.
Denzel. It's the best.
I gotta catch up on Equalizer because I think they've been filming a new Equalizer by me. I've been seeing the signs up saying like don't park here. We're shooting Equalizer. So I'm gonna have to catch up. So I might see myself in the next one that comes out.
All right.
I love it. Equalizer 3 has Dakota Fanning in it. They
Really?
reunite.
Oh, please bring it back. We might have to do because I do want to watch John Wick eventually. We might have to do like a trilogy or franchise week where we do John Wick, Equalizer, and I don't know, Rocky or something.
Jason Takes Manhattan.
All right. Yeah. Tune in next week for the Equalizer. All right. Well, yes. Tune in next week, regardless of what film we do. But make sure if you want to be involved, follow us on Instagram so you can vote. I don't know, send us an email, tell us what you thought about Man on Fire, or give us some suggestions, and do all the things else, like, comment, follow, etc. We love you. We thank you for the support. Robbie, Tom, good night.
Good night, Creasy. Can you tell me what was the name of your first girlfriend?
That's
Nanya?
ancient history.
None yet.
Nanya who?
None your business.
Got me.
Oh, I love that line.
Now I kill you.
Two mice fell in a bucket of cream.
When I hear a sound, a rap at the door, my young son Gabriel walks in. My wife says, "No, Gabriel, leave." I said, "No, let the boy watch. Let the boy watch. He needs to learn the way I learned from my father, the way he learned."